Every winter, Western Japan transforms into one of the snowiest inhabited regions on Earth. Entire towns narrow into corridors of white. Cars disappear overnight. Doors open onto walls of snow taller than the people stepping outside. This isn't the Arctic. It isn't northern Canada or Alaska. This is Japan, and it holds some of the world's most extreme snowfall records. But why? What makes this island nation a snow magnet unlike anywhere else on Earth? Stay with me, because the answer is more fascinating than you might think. So here's the thing. Japan doesn't just get a lot of snow by accident. It is the result of a perfect storm, literally, of geographical and meteorological factors working together. Let me break it down for you. First, imagine cold, bone-dry air sweeping down from Siberia during winter. We are talking Arctic temperatures, winds that could freeze your breath mid-air. This air mass travels south, heading straight for Japan. But here's where it gets interesting. Between Siberia and Japan lies the Sea of Japan, and this sea is relatively warm compared to that frigid air. As the cold Siberian air travels across this warmer water, something remarkable happens. It picks up massive amounts of moisture. Think of it like a giant sponge soaking up water as it moves. Now this moisture-laden air continues its journey until it hits the Japanese archipelago. But Japan isn't flat. The country is covered in mountains, and this is where the magic really happens. As the air is forced to rise over these mountains, it cools rapidly, and when air cools, it cannot hold all that moisture anymore. The result? Snow. Lots and lots of snow. This process has a name in meteorology. It is called sea effect snow, combined with orographic lift. The sea provides the moisture, the mountains provide the lift, and boom, you've got one of the snowiest places on the planet. Now you might be wondering, does it snow like this everywhere in Japan? Not quite. The snow is concentrated in specific regions, and understanding where and why is crucial to understanding this phenomenon. Hokkaido is probably what most people think of when they imagine Japanese snow. This northernmost island is legendary among skiers and snowboarders worldwide. Hokkaido regularly sees snowfall measured in meters, not centimeters. Sapporo can receive over 5 meters of cumulative snowfall in a single winter season. That is roughly the height of a 2-story building. But here is something that might surprise you. Aomori, located on the northern tip of Honshu Island, is actually one of the snowiest cities in the entire world. We are not talking about Japan alone. We mean the entire planet. Aomori regularly appears in the top rankings for annual snowfall, sometimes receiving over 8 meters per year. To put that in perspective, that is enough snow to bury most houses. Then there is the Hokuriku region, which runs along the western coast of Honshu facing the Sea of Japan. Cities like Toyama and Kanazawa experience what locals call the snow belt effect. When Siberian winds pick up moisture from the sea and slam into the Japanese Alps that run through this region, the snowfall can be relentless. And we cannot forget Niseko, a name that has become synonymous with incredible powder snow among winter sports enthusiasts. Niseko has achieved almost mythical status for its consistent deep powder, affectionately known as Japow by skiers. The snow here is not just abundant, it is exceptionally light and dry, perfect for skiing and snowboarding. What makes these regions so special? They all share key characteristics: proximity to the Sea of Japan on the western side of the archipelago, and nearby mountain ranges that force that moisture-laden air upward. It is geographical perfection for snow production. Let's talk numbers, because sometimes the statistics are so wild they are hard to believe. According to international weather data, several Japanese cities consistently rank among the highest annual snowfall totals in the world. Sapporo, with a population of nearly 2 million people, is not just some remote village. It is a major metropolitan area that regularly gets buried under meters of snow. Toyama, another significant city, has recorded snowfall events where over 2 meters accumulated in just a matter of days. Imagine going to sleep one night and waking up to find your first-floor windows completely covered. That is the reality for residents during peak winter storms. Some mountain areas in Japan have recorded seasonal snowfall totals exceeding 12 to 15 meters. That is roughly as tall as a 4 to 5-story building. These are not freak occurrences. This happens with remarkable regularity. What makes Japan's snow particularly notable isn't just the quantity, but the consistency. While other regions might see occasional extreme snowfall events, Japan's northwestern regions experience heavy snow reliably every single winter. It's not a matter of if, but how much. Recent winters have continued this pattern, with northern regions experiencing particularly intense snowfall that has strained infrastructure and created significant challenges for residents and authorities alike. Now you might be thinking, wait, there are mountains and cold weather in other parts of the world. Why is Japan so special? Great question. Let's compare. The Alps in Europe are certainly snowy. The Rocky Mountains in North America get plenty of powder. The Caucasus Mountains see significant snowfall. But none of these regions quite match Japan's setup. Here's why. It's all about the combination of factors. First, you need a consistent source of extremely cold air. Siberia provides that in spades. The Siberian winter is one of the coldest regions on Earth, creating an inexhaustible supply of frigid air. Second, you need a body of relatively warm water directly in the path of that cold air. The Sea of Japan is perfectly positioned. It is large enough to add substantial moisture to the air, but not so large that the air warms up too much. Third, you need mountains close enough to the coast to force that moisture-laden air upward immediately. Japan's mountain ranges run very close to the coastline. In some places, mountains rise almost directly from the sea. Mountains in the right place make all the difference. No other region on Earth has quite this perfect combination. The Great Lakes in North America create lake-effect snow using a similar principle, but the scale and consistency do not match Japan. European mountain ranges are farther from major moisture sources. The Caucasus has mountains and cold air, but lacks the same moisture dynamics. Japan sits at a unique latitude with a unique geographical arrangement. It is positioned precisely where the cold continental air from Asia meets the Pacific maritime influence, with mountains placed exactly where they need to be to maximize snowfall. This is why Japan, particularly its western and northern regions, experiences snowfall that is truly in a category of its own. But here's what really brings this home: the human element. This is not just a meteorological curiosity. Millions of people live in these snow zones, and their daily lives are shaped by this extreme weather. Imagine waking up and needing to dig a tunnel from your front door to the street. This is not hypothetical. It is a regular winter ritual for many residents. Snow accumulates so quickly and so deeply that streets become trenches, with walls of snow towering on either side, higher than a person's head. Infrastructure faces enormous challenges. Railway operators in heavy snow areas employ dedicated teams and specialized equipment to keep tracks clear. Despite these efforts, train services are regularly disrupted or halted entirely during intense snowfall periods. Roads require constant attention. Snowplows run 24/7 during peak season, and even then some routes become impassable. Airports face their own battles. Flight cancellations during heavy snow are common, affecting thousands of travelers. Runways must be continuously cleared, and when snowfall intensifies, operations can grind to a complete halt. There is also the constant concern about roof safety. The weight of accumulated snow on roofs can be tremendous, enough to cause structural damage or even collapse. Residents must regularly climb up and clear snow from their roofs, a task that is not only exhausting but genuinely dangerous. The snow impacts power infrastructure too. Heavy accumulation on power lines can cause outages, sometimes lasting for extended periods. Entire communities can lose electricity during the worst storms. And then there is the tragic side. Snowfall this extreme can be deadly. Avalanches are a real threat in mountainous areas. People have become trapped in their vehicles. Others have been injured or killed while clearing snow from roofs or simply trying to navigate through deep drifts. Recent winters have seen dozens of casualties and countless transportation disruptions across northern Japan. These are not just statistics. They are real people whose lives have been dramatically affected or tragically cut short by the severity of the snow. Yet, remarkably, these communities persist and even thrive. They have developed sophisticated systems for dealing with snow, including heated roads in some areas, elevated walkways, and extensive municipal snow removal operations. There is a resilience and adaptation that is truly impressive. For visitors, especially winter sports enthusiasts, this snow is paradise. The same conditions that make life challenging create some of the best skiing and snowboarding conditions on Earth. That light, dry powder that Niseko is famous for is a direct result of the meteorological processes we discussed. Local economies in these regions have learned to embrace their snowy reality. Winter tourism is a major industry, with visitors from around the world coming specifically for the snow. Hot springs surrounded by snow-covered landscapes offer a quintessentially Japanese experience that draws countless tourists. So there you have it. The answer to why Japan gets such extreme snow isn't simple, but it's incredibly fascinating. It's the story of geography and meteorology working in perfect harmony. Cold Siberian air, the moisture-rich Sea of Japan, and mountains positioned exactly where they need to be. It is a natural phenomenon that occurs every single winter with remarkable reliability. From Hokkaido's legendary powder to Aomori's world record snowfalls, from the Hokuriku snowbelt to Niseko's famous Japow, Japan's snow is truly unique on the global stage. These regions experience snowfall that by international standards is genuinely extreme, and they do so year after year after year. But beyond the meteorology, it's also a story about human resilience and adaptation. It's about communities that have learned not just to survive, but to thrive in conditions that would seem impossible elsewhere. It's about infrastructure pushed to its limits and people who face winter with determination and often with joy. And Japan's relationship with snow has even shaped its history and cinema. In 2014, the film Mount Hokkaido was released, based on the tragic Hokkaido Mountains incident when soldiers were caught in a deadly blizzard in northern Japan. It remains one of the starkest reminders of just how unforgiving these winters can be. The next time you see images of Japan buried under meters of snow, you'll understand it's not just a random weather event. It's the predictable result of one of the most unique meteorological setups on Earth. It's nature's own snow machine, operating at full capacity every winter. And that's why Japan is one of the snowiest places on the planet. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.